I ain't see my cousin in a long ass time. You bitch ass niggas, he gonna die behind me. Fuck is you talking about? And he crippin'.
Nah, delete that.
I thought you was still crippin'.
Delete that, bro.
You not crippin' no more?
Delete that. Delete that, bro.
Cause I was just down bad at the bottom. So no funny where to go, make it down. They be lame, they be hating, they be plotting. I'm taking a young girl, bought it cause he poppin'. No. I can't go. I keep a pole, keep a I made this way again.
Well, I was just chilling, reading the book of Nigalations, and I just came to my mind and think, it's just like, why do people enjoy, why do people praise, and why do people even like talk about the old school of WWE and WWF games that was made by THQ, Ukes, Jakks Pacific, and Aki? And I thought to myself, maybe there was something like a little formula that they had back in the day, and why people choose that over previous games like from 2K. So I thought to myself, and I had a solution, and I know what to think. So my brothers and sisters, gather around. To all my niggas and niggettes, it's time to talk about why the WWE and WWF games from the back then are better than now. And also, everybody talked about it. Hell, people talked about it. Q talked about it. Deku talked about it. Jay, who was obsessed with Steph all the time. Everybody even talked about it. Everybody in their mama talk about it. Why WWE and old school WWF games are better than the new ones today. Because it's not just because it was a wrestling game. No, it was fun. It was arcadey. It was style. It was actually pretty damn cool and it was dope. Like from No Mercy to Here Comes the Pain to Know Your Role to Just Bring It. The SVR series, like it had a lot of good stuff into the game, and that's even made it so fun. They even had mini games on it. Well, only for SVR 06, that was on the PSP. But I gotta say to myself, man, it's like I prefer they had bigger and much better match types that they have on this previous one. And don't get me wrong, 2K22 could be decent, but sometimes it could make me have me high blood pressure. Now 2K19 is a pretty good game, solid game. 2K14. What can I say less? Hey, that's what I said. But for the other previous ones that was made by 2K, I can't say nothing less unless it was man. Because back then, games used to have something that was like fun, enjoyable, and a feeling. And also, people always go back and say that, WWF No Mercy or SmackDown 2 is their best games of all time. Hell, even the shitty ones like Warzone and Attitude, it get praised a lot more than the newer one that comes out today. You see, with 2K now is that it was made by Visual Concept or Take-Two. It just doesn't hit the same like how it did back then in the late 90s and the early 2000s, especially 2000s in the general. Because like with games back then, it had so much unique and style into it that felt special and it felt something new and refreshing. Because that's the reason why is that people go back to play those old school games. See, people just don't go back playing it just to hype on the train and be bandwagoning like a bunch of meat riders. I'm not just saying that. Well, there's some out there, obviously. But a lot of people have go back and play the old school games because they want to go back to the time that they have the nostalgic and enjoy the memorable and good memories. See, that's why people enjoy games like that. And on top of that, I enjoy it too. Because without them and without the games like from Nintendo, from PlayStation, and Xbox, so we would not be here right now. I'm just saying. Because without THQ, Jakks, Aki, and Ukes, there will be no WWE games. There will be no franchise. And on top of that, there will be no community that we have right now, today. Because I would say this to myself, man, is that with games like this, with games like No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, hell, we could go with WCW, we could go with ECW, even Def Jam, even a lot of spin-off of wrestling games like what was it? Ultimate Muscle, Lucha Libre, TNA. It had so much feel and good to the game to it. Like, and on top of that, the campaign, the story mode, especially with SVR story mode. The SVR story modes has something that would be the top notch, and I'm talking about it will be the best of the best. Now with the gameplay itself, especially like Day of Reckoning, like 1 and 2, or WrestleMania 18 or 19, it's fun to play. And on top of that, I can say to myself that if I could spend hours upon hours playing the old WWE games more than the newer ones, because I just feel like this to myself, which I'm not knocking 2K22. But sometimes I feel like 2K22 just cannot stand a chance of the old WWF and WWE games or any other wrestling games in general that came out in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And I think I'll say this to myself and say to everybody else is that we can all agree on that old school wrestling games hits different. Now, I'll say to myself, now, if you a fan of it, go ahead. Be my guest. Knock yourself out. If not, everybody have their own preference, you know. But for me, do I still play WWE games to this day? Absolutely. But I feel like to myself, the older games from the PS2, the Nintendo, and also from Xbox are way better. And please don't come down to my comment and be like, why are you playing 2K22 on your channel then? Because, bitch, this is all I can record, okay? I don't got a fucking PC, dumbass, unless you could donate. But anyways, y'all, man, it's your boy Generation Kenny, aka Kenny Magic, and I'm signing out, man. Peace. Always remember, man, don't do crack. Don't be like me. I should never told y'all to smoke crack on another video. Well, peace, y'all.
On my P's and my Q's, and the hood, these the rules. I got trust issues, I can't fuck with you. Gotta keep my broom, gotta watch my moves. One-on-one, I won't lose. One-on-one, I won't lose.
I can't let up in the trenches, got Berettas with extensions.